What is up guys, Stark here. In today's video I am doing the character spotlights for the first character in the Camelot batch. Now before I begin with this, I'm doing the updated version of the character spotlights that I talked about previously in other videos. As I've said in those videos, not much is actually changing for the overall format of these videos. It's just going to look differently. I've done graphics for all of the things. I didn't really like just specifically using just screenshots of whatever I'm talking about. I wanted to make it look a little bit better, and hopefully I'm going to achieve that with what I've done. There's also like a few extra things that I'm going to be talking about in the videos, just like a few additional things that I've been, I guess, meaning to talk about, but I haven't really had like a graphic for it, and I just kept skipping it until now. So hopefully you guys do enjoy the new look, the new format, I guess, of the way these are going to work. And this is why it took a little bit longer for me to get these out. I was trying to get them all done before Camelot was released, but this is a really large batch. There's 9 new characters, and I was putting the finishing touches on the graphics, so I was a few days late. But here we are. We're going to start with the first one, and that is going to be Ozymandias. Now Ozzy is the current 5-star in the current banner, and he's a really cool servant. He's really interesting and very unique, and he is a 5-star writer. And he will go up to level 90, and at level 90 he will have 12,830 HP and 11,971 attack. This will rank him 29th overall in HP and 11th overall in attack. If you do decide to max him out, he will end up with 16,056 HP and 15,104 attack. So overall he has fantastic stats, and he is definitely one of the best, if not the best, writer currently in the game. So now for a few new introductions to the character spotlights. There are stats that I won't really talk about too much unless they're super relevant, but they are things that I felt are pretty important to throw out there into the video and into the graphic. And that's going to be his star weight and his star gain. So star weight is basically the odds of him gaining stars, or like accumulating the stars onto himself. And he's going to have a 205 star weight there, which is very high. And then for his star gain is going to be the amount of stars he will generate when he attacks, so he will have a 9% star gain or star generation. And then another new stat here is going to be the noble phantasm gain for attack and defense. So obviously this is pretty self-explanatory. His noble phantasm gain when he attacks is going to be 0.59%, and then when he's attacked he's going to get a 3% boost to his gauge. And then for his traits, he's going to be Brynhilder's beloved, earth or sky, divine, humanoid, king, male, writing, servant, and weak to anima elish. So moving on here to his skills, and again I have a new format here for the graphic, and this one was really tricky to make. I had an original version of it and it just wasn't working the way I wanted it to. So thankfully, some people on Discord helped me find a very good, or at least a better version of presenting this graphic than what I originally had. And for the first skill is going to be Charisma B, and it's going to look a little blank here. And the reason for that is because it has space for the other skills if it has multiple effects, which was my biggest problem. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Anyway, for Charisma B, it will increase the attack of all allies for 3 turns. And this will start at 9% at level 1 and it goes up to 18% at level 10. And another thing I added on here is the charge time. This is something that I really never talked about before. It's really important though, so I decided to finally include them into my videos. And the charge time will start at 7 turns at level 1, and it will go to a maximum of 5 turns at level 10. So now for his second skill is going to be the Imperial Privilege A. So as you guys can see here, now that it has 3 effects, it kind of filled in onto the screen a lot better. And it has 3 effects, like I said, with a 60% chance to increase his own attack for 3 turns, a 60% chance to increase his own defense for 3 turns, and he will also restore some of his health. So if you are successful on the 60% chance to increase your attack or defense, it will grant you a 20% bonus at level 1, and it will go up to a 40% increase at level 10. And then for the heal, it'll be 1,000 HP at level 1 and 3,000 HP at level 10, starting at a 7-turn charge time and going up to, or down I guess, to a 5-turn cooldown at max level. So this is a really good skill if you get it off, but again, I'm not a huge fan of percentage-based skills. I really don't like them all that much. However, the one thing about Ozzy is, and you'll see it really soon because I'm about to talk about it, is that his third skill is insanely good for these type of skills. And his third skill is going to be the Protection of the Sun God A, which will increase the noble phantasm gauge of all of your allies, as well as increase your buff success rate for 1 turn. So this skill is absolutely amazing for those chance-based skills, because at maximum level, it'll start at 20%, but it goes up to 40% at level 10. So at maximum level, it'll increase the odds of your buffs working by 40%. So if you take a second skill which has a 60% chance of working and combo it with the third skill, which will increase it by 40%, so you're going to guarantee yourself getting those effects off, which just eliminates the whole negative drawback of the chance-based skills, which is absolutely amazing. And then on top of that, you're also going to be increasing your Noble Phantasm gauge by 20%. So this skill is very good. Now there aren't too many characters in the game that have those chance-based skills, but when you do have those characters, this guy is going to be absolutely like vital to those teams. And it is on an 8-turn charge time at level 1, goes down to a 6-turn charge time at level 10. So moving on here to his passives, he has 3 of them. The first one is going to be the Magic Resistance B, which will increase your own debuff resistance by 17.5%. The second one is going to be the Independent Action A, which will increase your own critical damage by 10%. And the third and final one is Divinity B, which will apply damage plus 175. So now moving on here to his Ascension. For his first Ascension, he is going to need 5 Rider pieces and 100,000 Quantum pieces. For his second Ascension, he's going to need 12 Rider pieces and 22 Fool's Chains, as well as 300,000 Quantum pieces. For his third Ascension, he's going to need 5 Rider Monuments, 2 Heart of the Foreign Gods, 8 Serpent Jewels, and 1 million Quantum pieces. And then for his fourth and final Ascension, he's going to need 12 Rider Monuments, 4 Heart of the Foreign Gods, 5 Scarab of Wisdom, and 3 million Quantum pieces. And then for his skill enhancements, to max them out from 1 to 10, you're going to need 17 Gems of Rider, 17 Magic Gems of Rider, 17 Secret Gems of Rider, 12 Serpent Jewels, 44 Fool's Chains, 24 Forbidden Pages, 15 Lamp of Evil Sealing, 1 Crystallized Lore, and 54,400,000 Quantum pieces. So next up is his command cards and his Noble Phantasm. So starting with his command card deck, he has 1 Quick, 2 Arts, and 2 Buster. So he is a pretty balanced servant, and as you guys can see there are little numbers on the command cards, and that represents the number of hits that character will have for their attacks. So he will have 5 for his Quick, 3 on his Arts cards, and 1 on his Buster card. Now I don't really have a graphic for this, but he does also have 5 hits on his extra attack. That is one of the things that I still need to like fix on the graphics, but it wasn't enough where I could just like not post this with the graphics on there. It's something that I'll fix in the future. And then for his Noble Phantasm, it is a Buster card that will deal significant damage to a single enemy, as well as inflict Noble Phantasm Seal on that enemy for 1 turn. And then for the Overcharge effect, it will decrease the defense of that enemy for 3 turns. And this will also have 5 hits on his Noble Phantasm. So this is a very, very powerful Noble Phantasm. It is one of the strongest Noble Phantasms for Riders in the game as far as single targets go. It doesn't have any sort of like damage boost or anything like that, so it can be eclipsed by characters that do have like a special effect or something like that. But even then, he still ranks pretty highly on his Noble Phantasm damage. And overall, he's just going to be doing a ton of damage with the Noble Phantasm, and you're still sealing their Noble Phantasm on that enemy should they survive, as well as decreasing their defense. So overall, there's just a ton of good things coming out of this Noble Phantasm. So now moving on to some of the craft essences you can use on this character, and first up is going to be his level 10 Bond craft essence, which is going to be the Raw Messium. Now while equipped, this will increase your Arts card and your Buster card effectiveness of all of your allies by 10% while on the field. So this is a very nice craft essence because he does combo really well in Buster teams as well as Arts teams. So if you do have this craft essence, it's definitely going to be an option worth considering. Ozzy though is primarily like a Buster oriented servant, and you definitely want to maximize the amount of damage his Buster cards can do. So using the limited 0 over for the 25% increase to your Buster card effectiveness is definitely a really good option. You could also go ahead and use the Halloween Princess, which will increase your Noble Phantasm damage by 15%, as well as starting the battle with 30% of your gauge filled. You know, this is obviously the option you want to use if you're planning on using his Noble Phantasm more in the fight. Being able to start with your gauge somewhat filled, as well as increasing the overall damage of his already powerful Noble Phantasm is definitely going to be a good option. And then finally we have Viktor of the Moon, which will increase your Buster card effectiveness by 10%, as well as increasing your critical attack damage by 20%. So now moving on to some of the servants that you could use with this character, and they are primarily just characters that will benefit from his third skill, and the first one being Skahak. So, as I said, she benefits greatly from his third skill, although not so much as the other ones on this list, because her skill is an 80% chance of working. But still, the fact that you can guarantee yourself both of the effects triggering whenever you use this skill is too hard to pass up. And, you know, it's really good for the crit strength and crit absorption for the character, so it's overall a really good combination. She does have 2 buster cards as well, so she can combo pretty well with buster chains and things like that. But again, she's primarily just here because of his third skill. Next up is going to be Hans. Hans will benefit greatly with Ozzy's third skill, being able to get all of his buffs off on his normal Phantasm. And those buffs will in turn help Ozzy's performance that much greater, increasing his attack and his defense, as well as healing him. It's just overall a very good combination. He does have an arts heavy deck, which can combo with Ozzy's arts cards, and then you can just spam your normal Phantasm off more. And overall, you know, it's just a very good combination. Next up is going to be Nero Claudius. Again, she will benefit from Ozzy's third skill with her Imperial Privilege. Having those two together in combination, where they both have Imperial Privilege, is going to be really good. You're going to be doing a ton of damage. And then she also does have the exact same command card deck as him, so you'll be able to make arts chains or buster chains that much easier. And she also has a Noble Phantasm that will decrease the defense, so you can combo with Ozzy's Noble Phantasm to decrease the defense. And overall, it's just one of the better combinations of characters, in my opinion, to use. And then, last but not least, we have Nikola Tesla. So again, he's going to benefit from having Ozzy's third skill active, where he will be able to gain a 100% chance of having his buffs go off, so you'll be able to increase his normal Phantasm strength and his defense. And, you know, that's a very good thing. He's got so many buffs on his second skill, you know. You also have the attack and the guts as well. So overall, it's just a very good combination. He also does have a buster heavy deck, so you can do a lot of buster chains with the two of them comboed together. And, you know, he does also have a chance to stun, and you can kind of combo that with Ozzy's Noble Phantasm stun. And overall, you kind of, it's not like a pure stun lock, but you could definitely have a couple turns of stopping the enemy from using a Noble Phantasm. And, you know, that could definitely go a long way in some of the tougher fights. So then moving on here to his overall star rankings. First up for his stats, there's going to be 5 stars. Him being a 5-star servant, top 30 in both HP and attack. Really not much else to say there. As for his skills, I'm giving him 4 stars in skills. I've talked about it so many times in this video. Just the fact that he's able to increase the success rate of those percentage-based skills goes a long way. And it definitely makes those characters a lot more usable, because you don't have to worry about their skills having a chance of failing. And then not to mention the fact that he can also increase the Noble Phantasm gauge of all of the allies, as well as increasing their attack. This character is just a very good servant overall. There's not much else I can really say about that. He's just very good. He's got a very good set of skills. As for his Noble Phantasm, he's going to get 4 stars here. As I said before, it's going to do a ton of damage. It's one of the strongest Noble Phantasms for the Rider class, so he is going to be getting 4 stars for that. For his survivability though, I am only giving him 3 stars here. He does have pretty solid HP, and he does have the second skill here to heal himself back up, but he doesn't really have any sort of actual defense or evasion or anything like that, so I really can't give him too much more as far as that goes. But then for his versatility, he is getting 3.5 stars here. Now it's a little bit low because of his third skill, and while it's a fantastic skill, there aren't that many characters that can actually benefit from it. And maybe in the future when more characters come out, his versatility rating will go up a little bit more. But as it stands currently on global, I think a 3.5 is fair, but I definitely expect it to go up in the future. So that will give his overall ranking a 3.9 out of 5. He's a fantastic servant. If he was limited, I probably would have pulled for him more than I did. I did one multi-pull and I didn't get anything. But yeah, if he was limited, I probably would have spent more quartz trying to get him. I really do need a good rider. And honestly, there aren't any riders that I really want, so he would definitely be a really good option to get. But he's not limited, so you can get him pretty much anytime you want to pull. Not that I recommend pulling on the story banners, but he is there if you do really want to try for it. Overall though, he's a fantastic servant, definitely one of the best riders in the game currently. And you know, if you did get this character, congratulations, he's really good. So that's pretty much going to wrap up this character spotlight, guys. I hope you enjoyed the new look to it. I hope it wasn't too much. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm definitely always open for changes based on your guys' feedback. But yeah, guys, I'm going to leave you here with Ozzy's Noble Phantasm. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time.
我が無限の好機、太陽はここに降臨せり。ラムセウムセンティース。この程度か。勝ちは勝ちだよな。